We are live.
We are live. Okay, we are live.
He's alive. It's alive. Yeah. So what we got coming up? We got an interesting story from Charles about a hospital visit we've been putting off.
Yep.
I'm half knackered. We've been chatting for an hour. I'm half knackered now. So we accidentally logged on too early. I sent people out varying start times, so we've been chatting for an hour. Yeah. So what else do you want to talk about?
Well, let's start with Charles's A&E story.
Charles, you have missed out. Prison stories. Corpses with cocaine. And Con men. You've missed out a lot of stories. That was just general chat. That wasn't podcast chat.
That was just Theo telling me about what he'd been up to today.
Yeah. That's a busy morning, man. Come on.
Well, let's get it out of the way. What's been wrong with Charles? So we want to hear. Make sure you're okay. So what happened? You said you had a hospital story.
Yeah. I sort of have issues in my stomach and stuff on and off. But like for the last week or so, I sort of had this quite bad pain, like lower down, like near my appendix.
Oh yeah,
kind of thing, and it felt like something was swollen there and stuff, and like it got quite bad. And it got quite bad. When was it? Last night? A couple of nights ago? 2 nights ago.
Oh.
And it got quite bad, and I was in quite a lot of pain. I thought it was literally right where my appendix was, and I was just like, "That's not good," and it's getting worse. And so I called up, basically, like, I didn't want to do anything because I was like, I don't want to waste people's time, and it'll probably go away. I was hoping it would go away, and it didn't. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Always a wonderfully good thing to.
Well, because I mean,
ignorance will work.
But 9 times out of 10, you go to the doctors and you go, "Oh, I've got this thing," and they say, "Oh, well, just give it a couple of. If it still hurts in a week, come back and we will."
And you've taken a day off work.
I've already waited a week of it to come to you.
So that's what they said. They said, okay, the fact that you've they said if it had been a couple of days, we'd say, okay, if it's carrying on for a week, but the fact that it's been going on for about over a week, they're like, right, we need to do something. So they were like, okay, we'll call you an ambulance. An ambulance is coming right now. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't, it's not like at that level yet. Don't worry, mate. And I was like, and I don't want to waste anyone's time, and I don't want to, waste.
I'm surprised they called for an ambulance.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was thinking, but they were like, "Oh, it's going to be like 3 hours," and I was just like, "No." I was like, "I don't need an ambulance, and I'm not going to wait 3 hours. Don't worry. If I need to go to A&E, I'll get it sorted." So I called like 111. I called 111 like twice, and I gave them the same exactly this because you go through this checklist. They literally have like a dialogue tree thing. So you go through this checklist thing. They ask you these questions, and then if yes, if no, blah blah blah, if this that, and so they put in the answers, and then it comes up with different options, and then they come up with a sort of triage diagnosis. Very very basic, kind of just to filter you into certain categories.
And for our international listeners, 111, how would you describe it? It's like a offline.
It's the non-emergency health line, isn't it? So it's for it.
It's the idea behind the triage.
Well, basically, it's to stop people. We used to have NHS Direct, which was kind of like a drop-in type thing, but also, I think it's just to stop people calling up 999 because they've got a headache.
Yeah.
So 999 is our emergency. It's 911 basically.
So it's to stop you just going straight to the proper emergency services.
It's a way of weeding out the idiots, basusally. That's what it is.
Which is
you still get people calling up 999 because their Netflix subscription isn't working. Their Netflix login isn't working, or they need cigarettes.
So go on, so you called up 111.
I called them 111. I called them up twice, and I literally gave them exactly the same answers, and then I got 2 completely different outcomes, which I thought was quite. Because I was like, I'm sure you're working on it because you could hear them typing. I'm sure they're working on like a dialogue tree thing and computer program stuff. So I was just like, that was weird. Because one was like, oh, we'll call the ambulance straight away, and the other was like, I don't know, like whatever.
Why did you call them twice?
Because they were like,
you wanted a second opinion.
I was like, no, and I was just like, no, stop it, I don't want an ambulance. And they were like, well, this is the thing, we're going to call an ambulance. So I was like, cancel that, I'm not having that. And they were like,
if you come, I'm not going to answer the door. I'm going to close the curtains and turn the lights off.
Well, I was like, I don't want to waste anyone's time.
We'll knock on your window. I can see you.
But
so you wasted their time. So you called back later on.
Yeah.
But it could have escalated. You could have not answered, and then they're like, "Oh my god, he's really bad," and then they call out like the fire brigade, knock your door down.
Oh god, he's fucked.
You should have just dropped the phone.
But was it? We could see him moving around in there as well. What's going on?
I could see the PlayStation's on.
The bin's on fire.
But was it? was this? Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So all I wanted to do was just basically kind of see someone, just to make sure, like, just to tell me I wasn't going to die in the next day.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted. I just wanted some reassurance. Hey, you're probably going to be all right. You're not going to die next day. So I called up like the local non-emergency hospital, like the community hospital thing, without an A&E, because I just wanted to go there. I didn't want to go to the emergency bits in Reading. Yeah. I wanted to go to the non-emergency hospital outside of Reading. And like, so I called up them and they said, we can't accept anyone. You have to call 111.
Oh, wow.
And get and ask for an appointment. If you call up 111, you can ask for an appointment and we'll be able to see you. I was like, oh, cool. So I called up 111 again. I asked for an appointment. They said, we can't do that. I don't know why they told you that. We don't have the ability. I couldn't even if I wanted to.
Right.
I was like, okay. But they said, we'll call you back. So they went, okay. I was like, okay, whatever. Cool. So they called me back about an hour later. I had a chat with another guy. He was like, okay, we're going to get someone else to call you back. So I was like, fine, cool, whatever. So this other guy calls me back and he says, yeah, we can do an appointment. I've made an appointment for you in Reading Hospital, like the main, like, big hospital in the area, like in this part of the county. And I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, what? So they know I'm coming, yeah? And he's like, yeah, it's the outpatients. And I was like, are you sure it's open? He's like, yep, definitely. Because I was thinking, I'm sure outpatients isn't open at like 11 o'clock at night. Yeah. Because some departments aren't. They just operate during the day. Fair enough, you know? Especially like outpatients, because that's like a in and out thing for the day. So I was like, okay. So we turned up, and I was like, they're definitely going to be expecting me. He's like, yeah. So we turned up.
How'd you get
there? My mum drove me.
Oh, your mum gave you
I wasn't paying, man. I didn't want to call an ambulance, and there's no transport. There's no public transport, is there? Okay. So, and I get fucking ill going now.
So you grabbed a copy of 2 comic books just in case.
Yeah.
Got in
yeah, they're cool.
Slide any other magazines inside the comic books there.
Well, I had some porn on the outside because obviously I don't want to look like a
more
nerd.
ashamed of the comic books.
You didn't want everyone to see you reading.
Yeah. You don't want to get caught reading comics in the waiting room. So I turned up. I go to outpatients, and of course outpatients is closed because it's midnight.
For God's sake!
Right. And I'm like,
who could have predicted?
And I'm like, what? I was like, fucking nitwit. I was like, I knew the guy was chatting shit. And when he was like, because I was like, oh, is there a time or whatever? Because it's going to take me a while to get there. And he's like, oh yeah, I should have booked you a time. Actually, I should have given you a time.
Oh, come on, man.
And I was like, and he just obviously didn't have a clue. Like when I was talking to him, I was just like, So I was there, and there was nothing open, and so I was like, fuck. And I was in real pain. I couldn't really walk, so I was like, fuck it, I've got to go A&E because literally A&E's just there. So I was like, fuck it, go A&E. Right, just because I really couldn't walk at that point. And yeah, so basically they go in, I step into A&E, they immediately go stop at the door, right? They asked me loads of questions. They said, have you had a temperature? Have you had a cough? You know, all these coronavirus questions.
Have you felt unwell recently? You go, well, I'm at A&E.
Yeah. No, genuinely, yeah.
I didn't come here to get a DVD out.
got like a javelin through your neck or something.
Yeah, I was looking to cash this check actually. Fuck it up. So yeah, they immediately did that. They took my blood pressure and my temperature literally at the door.
Oh, really? All right.
Yeah.
Did they do the old camera in the face, the heat thing, the heat gun?
No. They didn't have anything so sophisticated. Okay. I did have a mask, but they were like giving masks out. You know what I mean? Okay. But literally, they said, okay, you're not. I said, I don't have any corona symptoms. I'm fine. So I was like, cool. So they're like, you can go to the cold side. They called it. Yeah. Like there's a hot side and a cold side. The hot side is the corona positive area. So suspected corona people go on one side. The suspected non-corona people went in the old endoscopy unit, I think it was.
It's like Auschwitz. One of you, the gas chambers to one side and then the healthy-looking people to the other side.
Okay, so this is where it gets funny because I go to the endoscopy, I go to the cold side, and they asked me all the questions again. They start taking my temperature, and they're like, "Have you had any symptoms? You had a headache?" And I was like, "Well, I did have a slight headache like last night."
Oh God!
And I was just like, and they were like, "She's like, get out."
They just piled on you,
smothered you with a pillow.
What the hell are you doing here? Fuck off, get out of it. And I was just like, I don't have it. 'Cause I don't have it.
But you're not well. You're gonna have a little bit of a headache and things.
Yeah. You're gonna have a little bit of like most people because I was my temperature had been a little odd, but I didn't say that because it just had like a like infection or something. And I get why they're saying it, and I understand this.
No,
but
that's
like,
too over the top. If you've been unwell and you're in pain, you're going to have a headache and you're going to feel hot and stressed. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Unless you were sick and ill beforehand. If it's a pain in my stomach, it's nothing to do with the fact. Of course, I've got a fucking headache.
I feel this is a little bit like when Boris Johnson was going like, yeah, it's fine. I went around shaking everyone's hands. 1 week later, I have coronavirus. Like, you're like, no, I definitely didn't have. I mean, I had a slight temperature and a slight headache.
On this one. So go on. So they sent you out.
But I get it. And like, they had to walk all the way back, and I really couldn't walk properly at this point. And I was like, really struggling. And like, I just thought it's funny. I was just like, yeah, of course. I was like, I'm going to be walking back and forth between these bits for all night now. You know what I mean? So I walked back, and they're like, oh, don't we've radioed. And I was like, hi, it's me. I'm back again. And they were like, all right, yeah.
And they went, oh, for fuck's
sake. I had to go in the hot side, basically.
Oh, right.
I had to go in the corona positive section. I was like, fuck, I'm going to get fucking ill from this.
Yeah.
I was like, this isn't going to be, they're going to check me out. This isn't going to be a problem. I'm going to get fucking coronavirus from this shit. I was like, fuck. So I get in, they do my blood pressure and they do it. Okay. So I get in, there's like, the interesting thing, this was like Friday night, and there's like me and like another person in there. And this is like midnight on a Friday night, which is like one of the busy periods for A&E.
Yeah.
Traditionally. There's like two of us
and Blockbusters at the time.
And the pub. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a popular time of night, is it?
Yeah. So there's like two of us there. I go and have a blood test. And I have this thing with blood tests where I have a condition. I think it's called vagus syndrome or something.
Vagal, the nerve.
Yeah. The vagal nerve. Yeah.
I thought you said Vegas syndrome.
Yeah.
Whenever you say vagus, you always have to say no. It's not Vegas. It's vagal.
Vagal.
Do you know what vagal means in Latin? It means a travelling wanderer because the nerve goes through the whole body.
Oh, okay.
Is that where the word vagrant comes from then?
Oh yeah. It might be vagrant.
Right, yeah.
There you go.
Interesting. Yeah.
Right, go on.
So I had this thing where blood test. When they take blood, my blood pressure drops and I sort of pass out. And it's not a needle thing because like the needles I don't care. And it didn't.
So what is it? The quick drop of blood, is that blood pressure? Is that what makes you pass out?
Yeah. Because it's always like a minute or two afterwards. So all of a sudden I can just feel myself go. And I said this when I went in. They said, oh, we're going to probably take a blood test. And I was like, okay, but I will pass out. And they're like, all right. I was like, it's not a needle thing, but it's like a blood pressure thing. And it always does this. Blood pressure just drops. And I just go like for a minute, literally. And like, I'm lying down. And so the guy's taking blood. And then he's like, I was like, okay, quick heads up, I'm going to pass out. And I was like, it's not a needle thing. It's a blood pressure thing. It's this thing. I've forgotten its name. I remember it. Vegas syndrome. Vegas. What
the fuck is
Casino Jack.
Yeah.
I've got the Venga Boys syndrome.
Talking
of Vegas, I want to speak about something actually. But go, carry on.
Okay. Yeah. No. This is the most interesting bit. But like, they So I took the blood and then I was like, he's like, yeah, you look all right. And I was like, yeah, well, I was like, give it a minute. And then a minute later, I'm like lying down. I'm going,
oh no.
And he's
turning
like,
into a zombie.
Yeah, and he's like, are you all right? You look terrible. And I'm like, and I was like, fuck. And I was just fucked. I was just like,
yeah.
You're like the guy in Independence Day when he's caught by the alien.
Yeah.
Release me.
But like, he was just like, I was like, I could feel because I just felt my blood pressure going. So he had the blood pressure thing again. So he just took my blood pressure again. And he's just like, your blood pressure's just dropped by over a third in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
He's just like, that is really weird. And I'm like, yeah, I was like, I did warn you, and like, no one listened. So I hung around for a few hours, read some comics. They checked me out.
What comics were you reading?
What was I reading? Infamous Iron Man.
Iron Man?
Doctor Doom gets an Iron Man suit and becomes a hero.
Oh, that does sound quite cool to be fair.
It was pretty good, actually, yeah. It was pretty cool.
Is that like a one-shot? Is that like a... Or is that a series?
It's I think it's 12-issue miniseries. I read the first 6 issues in a collection. So it's pretty good. It's Brian Michael Bendis. So it's
just going to be slightly Googling that. Anyway, sorry, Kerem.
So it's a couple of hours. You've been lying there. You've been doing all these comic voices have been coming out of you about death and
lying there. I was back in the waiting room with a thing in my, with a in my arm.
Is it catheter? No, not catheter.
Whatever. I forgot what they're called. But their thing. They're literally all these tubes
Drip.
hanging out of me.
You want a drip?
No, fuck no. No, but
it's the sort of gauge, isn't it? That then they put
so they can take further samples or put a drip.
Oh,
in
right, they left it in. Okay, right, so yeah.
Yeah. So I was just sat there in the thing with like an open wound and like just all these tubes hanging out of me in a dirty ass fucking waiting room. I know they do their best and it's great service and I don't mean to be thin, but Reading Hospital isn't the cleanest. It really isn't. And it's the levels there are not very nice, and it's the kind of last place you want to go to, especially during a global pandemic. You know,
I always imagine Reading is like Last of the Summer Wine, like it's quite normalised and like Devon sort of thing. No,
what about the Ballad of Reading Jail by one of your favourite?
No, I mean it's not the worst place, and it's certainly not. It's certainly better than it was, but I mean it's not.
Is that still there, the Reading Jail?
Yes.
Like, will it have a plaque up saying this is where Oscar Wilde is?
Ooh, well, it's interesting because it's not a prison anymore, but it's a listed building, so they're having real problems with it because they want to knock it down and develop it because it's in quite a nice bit of real estate because it's in the middle of town. It's because it's an old prison. It's in like. You
wouldn't want to knock that down. Like this is where what was it called? De Profundis was written. No?
Hello,
is Andrew still with us?
Oh, Andrew, you froze there for a bit.
Here I am.
Yeah, he was
we're going way off fucking topics. We're talking about you being ill. We've gone on comic books, Oscar Wilde.
Okay, so passed out. Literally, I had most of I saw a doctor for like 2 seconds. I saw a doctor for 2 seconds. They took me, into a cubicle or whatever and had a chat. And literally, as I sat down, like it went like next door, and like he's like, "Oh shit, there's an emergency. Sorry, mate, I've got to go." And I was like, "Yeah, fucking go, man." Like, fucking, and everyone was like running that way towards the noise, and like there was all this like shouting and carrying on. I was like, "Fucking hell, man." But they had a look at me and they said, "Yeah, you're not going to die. We don't know what the fuck it is. Get out."
Unlike the person next door.
Yeah. Which is what I just wanted to hear. I was just like,
hang on, but that's quite a specific thing. Surely they must have checked your kidneys or your liver or whatever was wrong with you. They must have checked something.
Yeah, they did some tests and stuff.
One said, no, there's nothing. The pain is not an issue.
I've had this once or twice before, and like they just like, we don't know what it is. And like,
kidney stones or?
Well, they kept on telling me, "Oh no, you don't have a pain there where you say you're
right." Okay,
because you can't have a pain there because the tests say you don't. And I'm like, well, I do still have a pain there.
Yeah,
and it does.
I'm not imagining it. Yeah,
there's something there. There's something.
It's your
like
soul,
something
Charles.
Inflamed, leaking out. But like they kept on going, but we've done the test and you shouldn't really have a thing there. And I'm like, well, I still do. So,
but what was the test? Checking your blood?
Yeah.
Well, that's not testing anything. You might have twisted them. It could be fucking 1,000 things.
Yeah.
We're testing your blood. Well, okay, my blood's good. Right, now what about this pain here?
But as I said, it's just like it's just saying that okay, you're probably not going to die of appendicitis in the next
something else
nothing major.
Yeah, something else will get you probably. You
drink a lot of water, or do you not?
Yeah.
Oh, you do. Okay.
I'm a big water man.
Oh, like Aquaman.
Charles is pro water. He wants everyone to know.
Yeah. Big in the water game, man. Yeah, big in the water game.
Right.
It's just weird because I mean, what I really took away was like we walked around like the main hospital, and everything was closed. Everything had like everyone was wearing masks inside, and I felt like a bit of a prick to start with, but then like I noticed that everyone was wearing a mask, so I was just like, and I just thought if I'm going to get it anywhere, it's going to be fucking hospital. You know?
Yeah.
So are you telling me you went through the medical system and hospital and came back having learnt nothing? Is that what you're trying to say? Yeah, that sounds about right. That's the modus operandi for most hospitals now.
I've been to the doctor a few times with this as well. I've had like quite bad pains. I've had the doctor out once or twice and stuff. I remember like last Christmas or something. I was in absolute agony and stuff. And
the same problem.
Yeah,
that's not good, Charles. You need to get that looked at.
I know, I have done, and I've had.
Shall I get the Dr. Charmer back on the podcast? So when we do our next podcast, we'll have you out on the table, open you up a bit.
Is there any way you're going to get like to see a doctor nowadays?
See, if we're going to do a Patreon, I think that's the one to start it on. Be like, listen, you got to pay to hear.
Fix Charlie.
We'll do a live stream of the operation. How are you feeling, Charles?
Yeah, it's got to be behind a paywall, though.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's my doctor story, but it was just I suppose it was interesting because they every step of the way they kept on asking me all these questions about Corona. Do I have a temperature? Do I have a thing? Have I had a cough? Have I been in contact with people? Have I been out of the country? Have I done this? Have I done that? I'm like every single time I talked to anyone. I went through the checklist. And the fact that they had separate sort of A&E areas, you know what I mean? And the fact that it was really quiet, as I said, like one of the busiest periods, supposedly, one of the peak periods. And there was a couple of guys came in when I was there, like literally, they ended up being about 4 people there when I was there.
In the main hospital?
In the main A&E ward. For this half of the county,
everyone's scared to go to hospital.
Well, this is what the coronavirus conspiracy theorists are saying. They're saying, look, all these pictures from NE, it's empty, and everyone's like, yeah, because no one's going out and therefore getting run over, getting drunk, having stuff fall on them, getting into accidents because they're all indoors. That's why we don't want crowded A&E because we're dealing with something else.
Yes,
we have had a few more middle-aged women with black eyes though coming in.
Jesus fucking hell. It's a bit strong.
On their the domestic violence is going up because of all this.
Yeah.
But there was a little lad in there who came in and he was like, well, I don't want to go into details, but he came in like cheeky chappy. All right, mate, yeah, how's it going? Yeah. All right, darling. He was chatting up all the nurses and he's just like, yeah, I've just been at home self-harming and I'm suicidal. He goes, I'm coming to get sectioned. All right. He goes, all right, darling, you look nice. Yeah. And I'm just like, okay.
You just move 4 chairs down.
I'm surprised he didn't come and sit next to you, given they do lock on to you, these people.
Yeah. He did try. He turned around, did a double take at me. I was like,
he thought, oh no.
All right, mate. I was just like,
what's that comic book you're reading? Fucking hell.
It's a porn mag. It's a porn mag.
I was like hiding, man. So that's.
But you need to get that looked into then, because if that's been an ongoing thing, it's not going to be nothing.
Yeah.
How long? When was the earliest time you had the pain? How long ago?
I've had
Within
stuff
a year?
with this for years now, man.
Oh, for years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Really need to get that going.
3 or 4 years.
So where is it? Bottom left or bottom right?
This one was. This is why I was slightly worried because it was lower right.
Just lift your shirt, Charles, and show us.
Above. It was literally sort of above the hip kind of thing. Literally right where your appendix is.
Oh right.
It's Quato.
And so I was just like, good stuff. Wait.
How good that would definitely boost the listeners. We'd be like, listen, we've got
to get that removed.
Yeah, exactly. Do you listen to any other podcasts where someone's got another person growing out of them? No.
And they're psychic as well.
Yeah.
They're like some psychic.
We'll have call-ins to do predictions.
Yeah, some psychic mutant growing out of you.
Well, let us know how you get on with it all. If you get the pains again. You've been listening to Medical Hour. We've given you as much advice here that you've got at the hospital.
As the doctors, I was going to say.
And you've learned what the vagal nerve is. It's not the vagus nerve. Talking about what did I say? I want to talk about Vegas. Gambling.
Yeah. Yes.
I was what's his thing? It was it on Netflix? Oh, I don't know. But it was about people that had tried to sort of get a con Vegas, like that, how they'd con the slot machines, and the slot machines would all change, and then they'd get another bit of thing to say, right, this cannot be cheated, and then somebody would invent something that would then cheat the slot machines again. I actually knew a guy. Can I say? He was an in-house engineer at a gambling casino. That's what it's called, casino in London, and he was there to make sure the machines kept working like an engineer. He was the one guy there that fixed all the machines on house. They kept them in house. And I was saying, right, first thing I said, right, tell me everything you know about machine. And he said you can't do the thing where you'd stick a bit of metal in there and there'd be a light on the end of it to trick the laser and all that anymore. He said, but the big thing now, they get gangs to infiltrate the like, if you know about computers, they'll get you a job in one of the companies that puts the software in the machines for like I don't know, what's a gambling machine? Well, anyway, a gambling machine.
Well, like a slot machine?
Yeah, slot machine, gambling machine, whatever uses software to generate gambling. And he said all they do, it's they're basically like hackers. So they create the software. Here, we're going to give you some money, and then they just put in a loophole in the actual software that says when you hold down the number 1, the button on the coin slot, and kick the machine or whatever, it will bring up 10 credits. And then what they do is they time code it so that software that what they call it, the cheat within the software, after like 3 months, it vanishes. It kills itself.
Sort of like a
deletes
backdoor.
itself. Yeah. Backdoor.
And then what you do is your mate works creating the software for these machines. He says, look, by the way, if you hold those first 2 buttons down for 6 seconds, you're going to get 50 quid's worth of credit pop up because it's computers, so you don't have to mechanically cheat.
It's like it's like a cheat code on a game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly like
games,
that.
Yeah.
He said, so that's what they're doing now. They're actually getting to that point where they go, right, that machine is out here. There's 5,000 of them. Just go around the UK and just cheat on them. And
that's what a lot of theories about sort of the big data breaches, big hacks, is that they think that somewhere along the line, as it's being built, someone is nefariously putting in something code so it launches all fine, it's all good, fine and dandy, and then whoever
every Wednesday of the week there's something with your whole
either their paymaster or they sell it on the dark web and say, look, I put this thing in this thing, so highest bidder, I'll activate it and give whatever to you. So the data
in this show about this guy that was hacking all the machines, he would buy, I think he was a TV repairman, and he would buy the actual machines that were in the slot. He'd spend like 10 grand, buy the machine, then just strip it apart and go, right, how do I figure out a weakness within this machine? Okay. Yeah. Then they'd bring out a new range of coin machines. So he'd buy one of those, he'd go home, strip it down, take him 4 months.
It's the sword and the shield, isn't it? Yeah. Like every time you come up with a new thing, then they're going to come up with a new weapon to do it. Every console and every game and every bit of software, it's always a competition amongst some people, some programmers and hackers to take it apart and find loopholes.
See what's the weak hole,
yeah.
But what happened is this was all in the 80s. So once cameras came in, it became too difficult to keep cheating the cameras. So he realised there's more money in creating the thing that can cheat the machine than just sell that tool for 100 grand, to 10 people. It's easier. But then he got into these women that were doing the coin slot machines. They were just cheating the machines. She bought one of these things. It goes in, you push it up, you twist it, and you press a button, and it shines a light through the laser inside, and all the credits come up. But they caught this woman and her mum, and they were given 16 to 32 years in prison.
My mate used to have one of them. Like, he used to do it, okay. Like the little key things. He used to have a little thing that sort of did it. Yeah.
But I just thought that shows the corruption, especially in like America and Las Vegas. Like, you could murder somebody and you probably won't get that. But you touch our fucking money, we will fucking throw you in jail forever.
Yeah, of course.
Like, you're robbing
the rest
everybody.
of your life in prison.
And they were just on the coin machines. They weren't like big. There was just the coin machines. I thought, fucking 16 to 32 years are going to get. I thought, you fucking you evil fucks. But anyway,
well, they throw you out for winning. I worked in a casino, and if you're winning, if you're not cheating, but you're on a good streak, they will take you to the office and say, we're actually down. Basically, if they have these, they literally have number machines. They have all these computer programs going, and they know if they're up or down on each person. So they know that this person's winning loads. So we need to break his streak. So they literally do things to break their rhythm and stuff on purpose, and they will take you. And if you're really, really clearing up, then they'll take you aside and say maybe you should leave because you're actually costing us money. Because you're not supposed to win. You're not supposed to.
Yeah, what are you playing at? Fuck. Hell. But I just thought that's just you can do what you want, but do not touch the government or Las Vegas's money. We will come out the finest, unless you've got enough money that you. So I remember somebody that I used to go to him for all my sort of like what was going on the inside with all the financial things, and he used to tell me a lot about the rich, and especially in the city. And he said, if you're going to steal, he said it would be better for you to steal $1 million than it will be for £10,000, because when it's $1 million, it's coming out of somebody's importance pocket, and they'll try and work with you to get it fixed. If you just steal 10 grand, they're just going to throw the fucking book at you and make you an example of you. He said, so you actually want to steal more than less. He said you get away with a lot more with bigger amounts than you do with little amounts. I just thought, oh yeah, that's probably right. If you don't pay your fucking thingy bill, and then the debt collectors come around for $1,000, they're probably going to bang you up somewhere. But if you get done for 10 million, you're going to go into some nice prison somewhere where you're not going to be sort of like. Well,
you can negotiate a repayment then. It's like it's the old saying: if you owe the bank £100, you owe them. If you owe them 100 million, you owe them.
Right, yeah. So I thought that was quite weird. I had another little thing here. Right, this is really weird. It's only good stuff I've jotted down. That's why I'm jumping all over the place.
It's fine. That's what we do here on the Vialucci podcast.
So guess this. I actually wrote this down for when we did our zoo podcast with the Tiger King. Impersonations, anybody?
Fucking Carol Baskin.
No, your cats and kittens.
Captain Kittens. Hi, you cool cats and kittens.
And Charles, do you want to do your prison phone call?
Hey there, fella.
No, you got to do the whole thing.
All right. This is a collect call from Oklahoma County Lockup from
Joe Exotic.
So good.
He goes,
I'm going away for life. You gotta get me out of here.
I watched the Louis Theroux
you saw it,
one
yeah.
last night. Yeah, it was quite fun. It was just weird being like, oh look, there's good old Joe, and
weird
there's
seeing
one of
him
the
out of
husbands,
context.
which the one that had no not the one who was killed, but the other husband. I forgot. It's not Travis, but
I don't remember that.
But there was reference because Louis Theroux was talking on Graham Norton, and they asked him about it, and he said, "Well, yeah, we didn't because obviously his was specifically about the big cat industry, or sorry, the exotic animal industry, rather than let's do an expose on the people." So he said, like, there was reference to the fact that he had the 3 husbands and everything, but he said we didn't talk about the music, we didn't do any of that. But it was quite funny. It was like, oh, look at Joe, no idea what's coming.
That was probably about 8-9 years ago now.
Yeah, it's quite a long one. It's quite because I vaguely because I'm sure I must have watched it because I do like Louis Theroux, but I couldn't remember it having from this time around.
He didn't stand out in the rogues gallery of fucking creeps and weirdos. He didn't particularly stand out. Did
No,
he?
because he's like, that's just tame for Louis Theroux. You're just like.
So I'd written. I was researching some stuff, and I found this fact. I thought, I can't believe that. So I actually ended up looking it up, but about animals. Do you know how many birds are killed every year in America? This is by hitting buildings.
It's got to be what, in the tens of millions, I would guess.
Tens of millions. Charles?
Yeah, 1 million. I don't know. I don't know how many birds.
So this is The Guardian, and I looked this up. Buildings are killing up to 1 billion birds a year, the US says.
1 billion?
1 billion. Now,
Just
I looked,
in the US?
Yes. Now, I looked it up, and the actual, there was some numbers being bandied around years ago, so they actually did quite an in-depth study into it of how many birds were hitting these things, because it's just constant. It's not like they're learning. The birds just get born and they're hitting them. They said a lot of them, birds are actually seeing the reflection, traveling by the sun, seeing the reflection in the mirror of the buildings and just going around them till exhaustion. Like, because they think the sun they're guiding themselves by the sun, which is reflecting off the building.
Is it the tower blocks?
Yes, so massive flocks of them are just going round and round and round, and that's just constant. So when I looked it up, the actual numbers, it said it's between 93 million and 932 million. They said they can't tell exactly, but they said that's basically what an average would be over what they think, was because they were saying how many birds died at this point because of this building, and then multiplied it by the year, and then multiplied it by the buildings, and it said, but the Guardian went with up to 1 billion, so it's like 900 million was
That's
quite
a lot. How many birds under that number? Then how many birds would be in the
I
world?
didn't dissect it any more than that, but yeah, I suppose in the United. But I was thinking it more. How many skyscrapers are there? I mean, buildings. How many buildings are there? There can't be that many. But if it's throughout a year,
I just, to me, that is because I think, like, even when you go to New York, they're not all that kind of glittering, reflective.
But
you do have things like Freedom Tower, obviously, and in Chicago, there's a lot of the reflective, but there's lots that are just concretey.
Yeah, there's got to be a lot of that. It's just them hitting the buildings. Because another article saying stop blaming cats for the murder of animals. It's to do with buildings. And I looked it up, and that's an actual official statistic that this company did. But it started to get used by different. Some would say 92 million. A lot of them were saying the 900 million birds were being killed every year because of it. But that's my animal thing.
But a bird flew into my window the other day. It scared the shit out of me. I caught it at the corner of my eye. It literally went.
Dunk.
Bang! I just saw it flying. Like, saw something at the corner. I turned around and it just went like, and it
thought it was an assassination attempt.
I don't know what the fuck. I was like, is that a rock or something? You know what I mean? You saw the cat something going, and it just went bang, and it just I just saw this puff of feathers, and I was like, what the fuck was that? And then I ran and I opened the window and I looked down. So I was like, oh shit, 'cause it's like a couple story drop. Yeah. And I was like, oh shit, is it dead or is it all right? Nothing there. And I was just like,
So you're on second floor?
He's in the second floor of the 5th wing.
Well, first, I mean, it's only a floor up, but it's quite a thing. And there's a courtyard down there and stuff. So, like,
Courtyard, look at him. Yeah. The butler came and swept the bird away. That's what happened before he could get there.
Charles, how many times have you sat on that balcony and thought, shall I just throw myself off?
Jesus! You know.
that's dark, man.
And look how gleeful he is at the idea.
What are you drinking, Charles? You just got out your tankard.
Just a lemonade,
huh?
Freshly squeezed.
Yeah, orange concentrates.
Nothing to clear your what they call it when you need to clear your urethra. Cranberry.
Nah.
No,
When you need to do your what now? Sorry.
No, you should. I reckon you should give it a trial to clear yourself up. Have a week of drinking the cranberry juice and nothing else, like diluted, and then have another week drinking apple cider vinegar. See if that does anything.
I'd also
recommend.
although it might be tricky to get under the circumstances, but proper Chinese green tea. So not like what comes in a tea bag. I mean the loose leaf.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
If there's a Chinese supermarket near you, get proper. Just drink that like loads. Just have like
Cleanse yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, you only need about sort of a pinch of tea leaves of the loose leaves. Excuse me. You'll probably get 3 cups out of that, and just have like. Just drink as much as you can. Just drink as much of that as you can. It's quite nice, quite refreshing.
Yeah. No, there is some around. There are a few Chinese supermarkets around, but I don't know if they're open or not.
They've probably been boarded up, probably hiding because.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if they're essential. I mean, they would technically be essential. But,
but it's funny that
you could always just ignore the pain. Hopefully that would make
I can't see any issue with that.
Especially ongoing. If it's always been there,
as it starts to form a lump and then redden, and then there's some sort of like pus coming out. Just ignore it, it'll be fine.
Then Channel 4 producers start knocking on your door. We've got a medical program we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Was that not? I was about to say disgusting bodies, embarrassing bodies. I was. Did you ever watch that?
Yeah, no, for like 2 seconds here and there.
Yeah, it's only so much you can watch at a time.
So I had another little thing on my scrapyard of subjects that I wanted to talk about. Yeah. I think we mentioned it though, but it was about the government coming clean that UFOs do exist.
Yes.
What was I briefly read some headlines and stuff. What was they released some footage or something?
The couple of things have happened over the last few years, but the one with the pilot. The American pilot, was it the Tic Tac incident, or that was a secondary one? It was the one where they basically tracked this thing moving across the 2 planes, the airline. They're not army pilots,
fighter jets, I guess.
Fighter jets, yeah. And they had the footage of these things flying around. Are you googling this, Andrew, to sort of help me out here?
No, I've seen the footage. I mean, it was on the news. Yeah, it was.
I'm scrabbling around to remember what the wording is.
But it's their heads up display is just showing. It's quite funny them tracking it, but you can see that because they released quite a bit of cockpit footage. And one was, somebody was tracking it, and then there was another guy who was like trying to find it. He was like, and then he goes, "Hey!" So I was probably peaking quite loud on the mic.
Look how fast that thing's traveling.
"Hey!" Just like so excited, like I've seen an alien.
But the thing you see the thing twist, like when it goes. But it was actually when we did our podcast, and there was what was that fella Zane or something. When we did a UFO podcast.
Oh, the guy, yeah.
Yeah, the Netflix thing.
I'll have a look.
What's his...
Z something.
No, it's oh god, it's.
Don't worry, Andrew's typing on the screen. Something. Yeah. Tic Tac incident.
I've done Tic Tac because it was on Joe Rogan, so not that we want to.
Yeah.
We're all about to go. Oh yeah, in a second. I'm waiting for that. Oh yeah, him. Yeah. What was it? Bill something. Or was it Bill? I think it was Bill. Oh. I want to say Bill Zadar or something. Bill.
Oh, Bob Lazar.
Bob Lazar. Yes.
Bill that's a dyslexic version. Bill Lazar. So Bob Lazar.
That's it. Yeah.
It took a dyslexic to unpick the word. But yeah, so he said. When the UFOs, he said, go into it, they tilt and they show their belly, and that's what you see on this, which is years later. And then you had this Tic Tac incident, which was the alien Tic Tac shaped thing that was seen in the sea by other pilots. The government have basically come out and said, yep. He said, okay, UFOs exist. Now, as Andrew always sticks up for the government, he says, right, that's not saying that aliens exist. He said unidentified flying objects.
Yeah,
exist.
they don't. It's a disappointing. They don't call them UFO. They call it was unidentified flying phenomena.
Aerial phenomenon.
Aerial
Like
phenomena.
Yeah.
I was like,
He's
I
like,
just
do
call
you
them
mean
UFO.
UFO?
Let's have fun.
Nope. We're not admitting to UFO. It's an aerial phenomenon, unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Because that's too much of a soundbite, isn't it?
Yeah,
Government confirms
Says,
UFO, but if
with
the
his
government
name.
confirms UFO, then they just be like, oh.
So it's here we go. It's just another thing that we go right. So is everyone going to eventually go? Oh yeah, they exist after years and years of lying and calling things conspiracies and UFOs being seen since the dawn of time, and now you suddenly go, oh yeah, maybe they do exist.
Yeah.
As I said, I don't think people would freak out. I think people would freak out for about a week, and then I think I said this before, and then they go,
Yeah, then the
oh,
rent
okay,
gets,
yeah, there's
has to get
aliens.
paid, and you sort of go, like, I've got to be fucking pay me rent this month. I haven't got time for all this.
This is what I mean. People would just get back into it, and they just go, oh yeah, no, there's aliens. That's the thing now, but I still got to go to work.
As I
you know?
said on the podcast, if you do not believe in aliens, there's something fundamentally wrong with how your brain looks at the universe, because you are saying that in all the infinity of space, there is nothing but us, which is fucking mental.
But they've already found. They've already found on. I think didn't they find on? It's one of the moons of one of the gas giants.
I don't want to hear some half insect thing. I'm talking.
Yeah.
There's much more than that.
Bacteria.
No, but I'm saying they've already found
About
it.
bacteria,
Yeah.
Right, yeah, that's nothing. I don't. If you didn't know that there's some bacteria somewhere, you forget. I'm talking about intelligent aliens, and I'm saying that there. Do you know what? When I was younger, I used to have weird dreams, right? And I had a dream that the
Is this
aliens were-
podcast safe?
Yeah, no, they had. I used to have this recurring dream that aliens were like everywhere, like in the sky, on the ground, everywhere. But you could see them, but people can't see them. But they're everywhere. It's like there's a swarm. They're all over the place. So I had this dream where you could figure out that they were there, and then the sky was just lit up with things moving and things coming all across the place. Because my thing is, if you are intelligent, then you have vanished in effect. You aren't needed to be seen, because that's nothing technologically. If you can travel across interstellar space, then in fact not being seen is nothing. It's the only thing that stops us really believing in that they are everywhere all the time is our own arrogance, that we can't accept that we're still apes. We can't. It's some in the human condition doesn't allow us to understand. No, we are still animals, and they make the other things with the 7 or 13, 14 billion years of evolution that's gone before us. We can't accept in our DNA that we're that low on the scale. We still think, well, where are they? Well, why don't they come and visit? Why don't they land? Because you're not fucking important at all. But
Yeah, that's what I think.
it.
My difference is that my view is that I 100%
You said you didn't believe in them.
No, I don't. My point is, I do believe in them, but you're saying they've definitely been here. They could be invisible. They could be. It's like, well, I don't know. I believe that they're out there, but I don't know that they've been here.
Right. So, but then, you're confusing yourself, because
No, I'm not.
No, I am, because what I'm saying is they've been reported for thousands of years. So you're saying, well, I believe in them, but I don't believe they've been here. But we've.
No, I'm saying I'm not. I don't say I don't believe.
It'd make more sense to say I don't believe in any of
here.
it. It'd be more sense to say I don't believe in any of it. But then when they've been seen, we have a thing called UFOs. So they must exist then, and you believe that they do
because
exist.
they say they're called. That's why they're called unidentified.
Yeah, but you're saying thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of these things are all not known.
But thousands of people believe in a guy with a beard who lives on a cloud.
Yeah, but then you get to the point, okay,
and they say they've seen him in a piece of toast, and they can even put pictures of that.
But
hey, that toast looked really convincing. Okay, yeah.
The problem
and
again,
delicious.
Your argument falls
And you
down
ate it.
when the pieces of toast are being caught on pilots' radar.
Yeah.
So what about that then?
Well, what?
You still go, no. It's still just
No,
something
I'm
we don't
saying
know.
that looks very convincing, but I'd still like to see
You're still
more, because
holding
it's still
it
a
up.
blur. It's still a blur at the end of the day.
God.
They're always fucking blurs.
To all the conspiracy theories out there, I'd like to apologise for Andrew's attitude.
I apologise to all the people whose
I agree
parents
that it's
hugged them too much or
like,
not enough.
Come on, Charles, you're arbiter of truth.
No, but I agree that, like, for instance, like you don't get, like, now everyone's got a camera in their pocket.
Yeah.
You see that you think that there'd be more and more evidence of this stuff, and actually you see less and less. Like
but
Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah, but
all of a
strangely
sudden,
enough-
Loch Ness Monster's not a thing. No one's got a picture of him on their mobile. If it was a thing, someone would have fucking filmed it. Someone would have, taken a selfie.
I'm going to go against what you're saying, but force my own hand into. So the answer to that is you're not going to be seen. You're going to just invent. You're going to be invisible. Why would you be? You can do it now.
So then, if you're an alien invisible, why would you be showing up on a pilot's camera?
Right.
That's why I'm more inclined to believe that those are whatever. Drones, experimental aircraft.
So the argument why they're not being seen is because why would they need to be seen? They're just being
exactly. So then that's my point is what we're showing on the air. Let me finish. My point is that you're saying on the one hand you're saying they're invisible and they can't be seen, but then we're also seeing them on the cockpit. So I'm saying there could well be invisible aliens flying about that we can't see. I can 100% accept that. But to say that this thing we're seeing in the cockpit, this blurry thing that's moving about, is definitely an alien, I'm saying, well then. So which is it? Are they invisible and they're so advanced and we're apes and they don't need to see us, or they do need to show us but they're blurry?
This is what I'm saying. This is my point. It annoys me that the definite answer is they're invisible and not being seen. But then if I was trying to defend them they don't exist, I'd say, well, why did they fucking leave one behind then? Because you're bollocksing up you're bollocksing up your fucking thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not consistent to say that they're definitely invisible.
Why did you get rid of it?
I mean, but also it could be different types of aliens.
Yeah, this is my thing. Maybe. Okay, it's like going into the desert and somebody dropped their watch. Do you know, it's like, okay, it's not that big a deal to us, mate. It's not like, oh, there's a big UFO that got left on the planet. They're going, well, there's one left.
Yeah, but there's a difference between if you dropped your watch in the desert or you dropped your Ferrari in the desert. You know what I mean? You'd have a bit, and if it had your
really. Because if you go far enough ahead, you could explain the mobile phone and say, what, somebody just dropped a mobile phone, the thing that holds the knowledge to the generations of the world. It's so important. You wouldn't just leave that behind. Go, yeah, kid, 2-year-olds kick it about the fucking house. It's nothing. But I think we're going around
spaceships around the house.
I think just to come back to sort of, I think...
Yeah,
no,
they are. I think it's exciting,
and they're invisible.
I say, but whether these UFOs are actual UFOs.
But if the two fighter pilots on top of everything else, but even if you left all the other UFO sightings ever go, and you go right, these recent ones with Bob Lazar and the Tic Tac incident, all these pilots seeing them and reporting them live, sort of thing.
Oh yeah, it's all very credible.
What would you say? You can't go, well, these pilots are following something on track, and it's flying across and then it vanishes, and it's we don't know what it is, just something. We got that. That's not acceptable.
Yeah, but my point is that I think this is great. This is the beginning of let's see more of this. Let's find out.
Yeah, so you
let's
think
investigate.
It is still, you're just holding back from committing.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Because
is that not how all critical thought could be? I don't immediately see something and go definitely aliens and decide upon that.
Yeah, because if you're saying that the possibility exists, certainly, but until there's hard and fast, there's some evidence. Yeah, and you're right. You'd be a fool to think that there wasn't anything out there. It wasn't it wasn't another, life hadn't developed on other planets, other parts of the universe being so big. But until there's actually evidence, like actual hard evidence, that you can say, yes, it probably is stuff, and yes, there may be aliens or UFOs that probably are, but until there's actually hard evidence, I think that to believe in something without evidence is a bit...
No, not really. If you look out the window and you see smoke coming down and 1,000 people screaming from one direction and somebody screams fire, that you sort of go, well, I don't have to see it. It's probably true that there is fire there. If you've got whole generations, one after the other, with this UFO thing, again and again and again, you sort of have to go, yeah, they probably are there, and we haven't seen them yet. And here is an example of something that probably is, because we can't explain that.
But I suppose
I understand you're committing. You're not wanting to commit fully, but I just think at a point.
I think basically what I would say as a kind of perhaps more scientific analogy that I would use is this is a bit like going, okay, there millions of years ago, before humans, whatever, there were these great big monsters that used to live on the earth, and I go, okay, I can't disprove that, fine, and then you say, oh, actually, here's an artist drawing of these monsters, and I go, well, okay, what's that based on? Well, just on sort of what we suppose it would be. And then a couple of years down the line, you say, oh, okay, I found the thumb bone of one of these things, and I go, oh, okay, that's very compelling, and here's a drawing of that. And then someone goes, here's the great big fucking skeleton of the iguanodon. This is one of the things that used to live. So that's why I think we're not at the show me the, habeas corpus, show me the body. At the moment, I think we're seeing the thumb.
I think you can come to some conclusion that needs to see. You just go, yeah, they do exist, and it probably was one.
Yeah, I know. But probably is not the, the be all and end all.
Well, we agree then. I'm not saying the exact that. No, I don't know.
I'm still slightly inclined to believe that it's probably some kind of test fighter jet or some kind of drone that's super top secret. I don't again. But that to me just seems you're asking me to accept which of the two possibilities.
But they've been around before. If you drop past the 50s, they were still there, and you couldn't. So there's been this thing, as humans have known, of these things traveling at exceptional speed, vanishing, disappearing. So I understand that it would make more sense if you'd only heard them past the 60s. But the story's been going on forever, so it falls back. It didn't. You couldn't. They were always.
Yeah, but I mean,
there.
you could say the same about religion, but we.
Oh, he loves the old religion thing. He was drops that.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But that's my point. Is it's still people.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a belief without concrete evidence.
Yeah.
It's belief over sort of fact.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the UFOs will be seen eventually. We will, hopefully, in my lifetime. But then I'm going to make Aunt Charles.
Then you'll be assassinated at that very moment by the aliens.
To be honest, I mean, have you ever seen a picture of all the royal family standing together? Case closed. Case closed. Aliens exist. There we go. Yeah. Next.
David Icke's back.
Yeah, we were talking about him. He's still knocking around.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
he's still
making money.
Yeah, he's still making money. Yeah. It's like, I mean, the thing is, the blurring of the lines of the ultra elite and the powerful. You go, yeah, that's right, but don't throw everything else in because it sort of dissolves your arguments about the things that you are right about. There is an elite, and it is But
yeah.
You sort of a lot of it. You go, yeah, I can. I mean, I can never quite settle on the idea of an overarching because you think. Well, look at Charles going to the hospital and they can't even fucking decide which door he goes in. So I'm just like, they're just. So I don't think it's something where they're all, in some room with weird pagan symbols sacrificing to Cthulhu. I think it's just a bunch of greedy bastards at the top who just want to keep the money for themselves. That's as far as it goes. There's no. So if money equals power, then yes, but it's a thing of we'll control the law because we want to make sure that specifically tax law is favourable to us. So they're not interested because it's almost that alien thing. If you're a bug to them, they don't care. They're not maliciously thinking, oh, let's keep Charles, Andrew, Theo, Kerem, just us four or whoever, but I'm just closing it down to us. They're not down to that level of precision. It's just they're not even because if you were thinking, oh God, if I pay off this politician so that the tax law doesn't change. So that means that that these other people are going to go without. Because if you thought that, you couldn't do it. No one could do that. I don't think so. I remember
listening to something about corruption years ago, and they were saying when you talk about these high level international corruption, he said it's not what you think. It's not people making decisions. He said because. It's sort of like with the Trump thing. As long as you've got a few poison people at the top. Everyone below sort of knows what to do without being told what to do it. You sort of go, well, he's corrupt. This is just the way the system works. And the person below you makes a few quid off of you and blah, blah, blah. It's not the bloke at the top of ECU banking or whatever that's saying, get rid of that thing down there because he's never heard of him. But it's just everyone knows that's the way the system works. So it does create a hierarchy, but it's just the way the whole thing's poisoned. That's what it's like saying if you've got a tumour, like where is the tumour? It's the whole fucking thing. It all needs itself to...
That's very true. That's how most conspiracies actually work, and that's how most cover-ups, in fact. Talk about conspiracies, that's a loaded term, but most cover-ups, in fact, work not because everyone is directly involved or directly being told or ordered to do this, but because people have an innate idea that to protect the system and to protect the system that they're in. Yeah. So people are like, well, the judge probably didn't make a mistake because he's the judge. You know what I mean? And he wouldn't lie. And the police officer, well, he's got the evidence here and he wouldn't lie or fake the evidence because he's the police officer. You know what I mean? So people are like, okay, well, I kind of trust, even though it looks a bit shady, I kind of trust these people and the system, well, it kind of works. And, so you don't want to be the one to just go, no. So actually, like, people tacitly get involved in these things. Yeah. You know what I mean? You look at all these things, like the Hillsborough investigation, uncovered all types of criminal activity. And not everyone was directly involved in it, but lots of people didn't say anything at the time.
Yeah, it's a lot of micro cells within the overall thing.
Yeah, you're not getting 100 people didn't get together and go, right, you fake the police report, I'll buy the journalist, It's just, but it's part of this systemic thing.
Cancer
but
that spreads
it's like all the sex scandal stuff in this country. People weren't necessarily directly covering it up, but not enough people put their hands up when things were a bit weird. They were like, and people got rewarded as well for not saying anything.
Yeah.
They're like, it's again tacitly said, you keep your mouth shut, you be a good boy, you don't rock the boat, and maybe you get a promotion in a couple of
Well, that's
months,
why it's so important. That saying, I heard it talk about Trump when they said, the problem is that the fish rots from the head down, and it sort of does. If you've got the person at the top, everything below it. I always saw it when things to do with media, where I'd be somewhere, and the atmosphere, like on the film set, was a bit shitty. Nobody was really relaxed. And then you'd meet the director and a producer, a couple of fucking arseholes, and you go, oh, that's because it sort of filters down. I can't relax. I can't enjoy myself. You can't enjoy yourself because I can't relax. I'm worried about him, so you have to worry about me. And I thought, no, if you change it, I think somebody, when I already spoke about Ricky Gervais, but I think it was it was about the second office they worked on, the Ricky Gervais's office, and they were saying, it was a fucking fantastic atmosphere to be there. He said, because he's quite lazy, he wanted to be done, quickly shot, and he said, I want to be home by 3 because I want to get to the pub. He said, so then the whole thing just became a relaxed atmosphere because the bloke at the top, the second person, the third person was relaxed because they're above them. And I think, that works. But corruption, you need one person like Trump at the bottom. He doesn't have to tell all those people below what to do and what to say. They just know how they fit into the system to cover their own backs, which is lying, and lying's okay because the bloke above me won't mind. He's corrupt as well. And it just becomes this fucking mass.
But people become invested as well. People who are profiting and doing well from that system become invested in keeping perpetuating that system, keeping it going. So,
and it sort of draws them in. If you've got a corrupt bloke at the top and you're a bit corrupt, you go, well, like, I want to sell you some disinfectant. My company owns a disinfectant company. I want to make some money. Yeah, why don't you say these things? I know you can be bought off. Here's a couple of quid, and then everyone around him has to lie about that. Yeah, it just carries on. Let's not end on all this.
So Trump, always Trump, always back to Trump.
And UFOs.
I did have quite a good. I only just came across this quite now. See where you think this story's going. It's quite an old one. It's about a lady called, because I was watching a documentary about Matisse, and this lady, she employed Matisse, the artist, and it's not, this story doesn't necessarily directly connect. Well, it does, but basically, this lady, Therese Humbert or Humbert, I'm not sure.
Humbert.
She was, So this was in the sort of late 19th century, beginning of the 20th. She was a French socialite, and she claimed to have saved the life of a very wealthy man. A multi-millionaire, and obviously back then, just to even be a little bit of a million, even if you got a few million, you're enormously wealthy.
50 quid was that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
exactly.
So a millionaire, she claimed his life, and she saved his life, so she claims, and he had promised to include her in his will, and they had given her a sort of promissory note and a copy of said will, but on the condition that it was kept in a safe, secured. So, using this claim, she got loads of credit, she got loads of loans. See, can you guess where you think this is going? And then a newspaper kind of were a bit skeptical about this, and they tried to sue to get the safe opened, but she won. And then gradually,
hang on, is he dead yet?
I think at this point he had died. Yes,
right.
And then the family of this man, because he was real, that wasn't made up. Yeah. There was a real millionaire, this man called Crawford, and the family sued to get and basically everyone piled together. Newspapers, the family, the authorities, all piled in together, and what really tipped it was obviously her creditors, the people who'd loaned her the money, were like, yeah, we need to see that will now. And they finally got it open after years and years of appeals. She was still alive. This wasn't after she died. Right. And inside, reports vary, but there was a button, a newspaper, and possibly a brick.
Oh, God.
And it brought all these banks down because they'd all just kept loaning her, and giving her credit.
Me saying that I'm going to get some money.
Yeah.
But isn't that brilliant? You just go, well, there you go. That just goes to show you that the whole financial system is built on bollocks.
Yeah. On who you know, and friendship, and
and confidence in what you say.
The guy who owns the bank, they're quite happy. They're like, yeah, you can have 300 million.
That's fine. Somebody. I think it was somebody. It was a judge. It was somebody connected with her was one of the reasons. It's a bit like the Carol Baskin thing of like, yeah, there's no problem with her cousin being one of the investigating officers. It was something like Humber's, like, I think it was her uncle or something was involved in initially turning down. I think he was the judge that turned down the one of the claims to have the safe opened. But you just read this and you go, who could have predicted that this might have happened?
That shady lady who's being shady.
Shady lady.
Yeah, it's just one of those
I think
things.
with a lot of these things, there's probably a lot of people doing things like this, and it never works because most people have got common sense. But it's just you hear about the one person that got the idiots who then allowed them in.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. You only need to. It's the spam email thing, isn't it? Of saying, you know, you're a member of the Gaddafi family, which seems to have overtaken the Nigerian prince as the new go-to spam thing. So as I'm a member of an extended member of the Gaddafi family, and I've got all these billions.
Did I ever tell you I conned an African scammer?
Oh, okay, fine.
And he went mental.
I thought you were going to say, did I ever tell you that I used to scam people out of their money? But
no, I never did that.
It
was something that fell onto my lap. Somebody tried to scam me, and I thought, and this is like before you used to get emails about scamming and all that. And I thought, because again, I was hustling, so I knew the signs. So somebody thought they was a scammer. Give me a fucking break. I've been doing it for food and fucking rent for years. So your weird scam does not work. And he tried. I can't say too much because I could still probably get done with this. But basically, there was a thing here they would do where they would transfer you some money, but they say they've sent you too much. So you send them the thing back, but then by the time you've sent them the extra back.
Oh, they've cancelled the initial transaction.
Or it was just a fake. Yeah, it could be a fake. It looks like here's the link to the PayPal thing. It looks like it's gone through. You know, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought, right, this is a con. So what I can do, they're greedy. So I always look at people that like apes. So I go, right, they're a con man. They're desperate. So if I try and buy myself some time by going along with it, it will give me time to sort of work out how to get to this idiot. So I went, oh yeah, okay, that sounds, or whatever. And this is so long, it's like 15 years ago. And I can't say what I did, but I did something. I went along with what he was saying, and I ended up getting money, about $3,000 from him. And then still playing along like, I don't know what's going on. And then obviously I didn't follow through. And then I got an email going, you motherfucker, you took... And I thought, why did you leave the money in your account, you fucking stupid idiot?
Yeah, and it's also just like, how do you...
I can't say how I did it. It's quite obvious, but I thought, I don't want to incriminate
But what I mean is, like, him just being like, you motherfucker. It's like, but you're doing this to loads of people.
But it was so weird. It was like, I remember the big smiley face, because I thought, this isn't going to fucking work. There's no way. But it was
there's some Nigerian prince somewhere crying, going, I just wanted to...
Yeah, a few grand as well.
That was in a sketch show. It's quite good called... I believe it's called Famalam on BBC. And it's quite good. So it's I think all the cast are black, and they do sketches about sort of black culture. So there's stuff, for example, you see all these drill rappers, having beefs with each other over phone, being like, listen, I'm not even going to do the voice. Like talking about like, oh, no, not in the accent. I can't even think of the lingo, but like, we're going to come to your area. We're going to come to you. No, but they're doing a spoof of that. They're saying we're going to come to your area and whatever and stab you up, and you're, and they say something silly like, oh, and your mate, so-and-so will shit. And you go, and then they'll be replying and be like, yeah, this is the so-and-so crew. No. He was really upset by what you said there. He's been dealing with some personal issues, and it's a very funny show. I mean, that's a poorly...
Actually, that kind of overstepped the line there. And they're we realise we overstepped the line, but we're actually quite sorry about that, although we are still angry with you as a whole.
And they have one where it's... I don't think it is Nigeria. I think they just go with a sort of generic African prince, and who's saying, so it's people in London or wherever getting these emails saying, oh, Nigerian, whoever wants to give you all this money, and then it cuts back to this guy going, I keep trying to give away my money. I'm trying to help and spread my wealth, and because I've been so lucky. Why is no one helping? It's really funny. It's a really good. They even have one with they have a black Jesus. I think they even do it like so. People praying, and then he comes and he's like, listen, why would it be a white person? It's more likely to be a black person, because the person praying and then Jesus comes to them and well, he said, well, why would it be a blonde-haired white guy? Why is more likely to be an African person? It's closer to the Middle East. And
that must annoy the religious thing when somebody just went, hang on. But
he was Jewish.
I get it.
He was
Where'd you get this image
Jewish,
from?
Jesus.
Does that make any sense?
Because it's the Madonna like a prayer, isn't it? And apparently one of the most, because you watch that back now, and obviously now that's very tame because you watch most music videos and it's people with their vaginas being thrust at the screen, and everything like that. But so it's quite a tame video, and you're watching, you're like, why is this controversial? And apparently one of the biggest things was that she had a black Jesus.
Yeah.
In the, I think in Family they do it as a black Jesus. It's quite.
I remember the first time. I was doing like philosophy of religion or something, and they this was like the first week. They're like, right, we're going to blow your mind, and they were like, here's some pictures of Jesus, and one of them was this dude, and he was sort of Caribbean. He had dreads and stuff, and I was like, where's Jesus? And I remember thinking, where's Jesus? Yeah. And they're like, no, that is Jesus, and I was like, Jesus had dreads? I was just like, oh, okay. And they're like, no, but this is this is the Jamaican church. This is how they show Jesus. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
Because I could be completely wrong here, so forgive so listeners if you're offended. But that would make sense, though, because I believe in Rastafarianism, don't they? Believe that Jesus was, so they do believe in Jesus, but they also believe that he was reincarnated, including into Haile Selassie, don't they? Is that not
Haile Selassie?
Yeah, but that is so that would sort of in that one, that kind of makes sense to me.
But no, I think it was actually the Christian church. It was the Church of Jamaica.
Oh, a Jamaican Christian. Yeah. So not
so it's the Protestant Church of Jamaica, and that was they had a picture of a stained glass window, and all their saints there, and they all had dreads, and they're all sort of West Indian looking chaps, and I was like, oh, okay, blew my mind.
Yeah. You're right. We did get the blue hair and blonde eyes from. I never questioned
and I was like,
it.
why is he blonde? Because as I said, he's some Jewish dude.
So the religious lot just go, well, he was dyed his hair. That's what
isn't that a joke in? I think it's the reboots of 21 Jump Street and whatnot, because their hideout is a former Korean church, and so they have a Korean Jesus in there up on the cross. I suppose that would make sense, and particularly if the idea that he's representative of all mankind, that he died for everyone's sins, I don't see why that would be.
Maybe
and I'm sure he's like Lord Galactus in that he would appear to you in whatever form you'd think.
I was just going to say, maybe everyone's right. They're all. He just separated into 7 people.
Yeah, but it's isn't that, and that's an alien from Star Trek, isn't it, Theo? That changes to look like I think you were talking about that last time, that there was an alien that appears differently to everyone. So Scotty sees a woman like this, and Kirk
that rings a bell. Yeah. I sort of forget them after I've watched them.
Yeah. Oh, the Salt Monster, isn't it? Appears different. So he sees her how he remembers her, but everyone sees her age appropriate for what Kirk sees her for age appropriate from what he remembers of her. And then a younger crewman, because Scotty said, oh, she's the most beautiful woman in the world, he sees what he thinks is her.
I saw the one I watched last night. It was I always try to turn off because otherwise I can't sleep. I'm just thinking about work.
Yeah, what was that? What you sent me that clip? And I was
what
one? What the
is it the
one where they're all staggering?
Yeah, were they drunk or something?
Yeah, that was supposed to be a bloke that could control their bodies and make them move, but they were just acting like they were drunk. Not that they were being pulled forward, but because they were going sideways and backwards. I thought, well, if he's trying to pull you...
They look like they're on a ship, like on a boat.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like going up and down.
He could control them and get them to sort of punch each other and all that. But they were acting sort of drunk. So the acting doesn't work with the script of what you're being given. Why are you staggering backwards like you're drunk when he's pulling you forward towards them?
Was that when he kissed Uhuru?
Yeah, it might have been actually.
Because there were a couple where they mind controlled them, so it's very hard to remember which.
Yeah, there's a few sort of we can control
like,
everything you do. But the one I watched last night, they go to a planet and they meet a guy, and he's got artwork from everywhere. Like he's got a piano with Mussolini, what's his bloody name? Well, he's got a piano with famous.
Is this the Squire of Gothos?
It might be because it turned out he was like
it out of the bag.
All right. Yeah, nice one, man.
It turned out
one.
he was Da
Respect,
Vinci and all these classics, the musicians. He was Socrates and Plato and all. It was him.
Oh no, that's
he
not
was
the Squire of
all of them.
Gothos. No.
Oh.
Yeah, I do remember that episode. Yeah, he was all the geniuses. Wasn't
Yeah, and he created a woman that. First off, the Scottish fella hits on her, starts being tries it on. Then he walks out the room, and Kirk fucking has a go at her.
Of course, Kirk does.
Just fucking leave her alone. You just stop flirting with her. And then
Everyone's
of course,
just macking, aren't they? Basically?
yeah. And then Kirk sort of kisses her. She's like, "Oh, I don't know what this is," sort of thing. I've never had a kiss before. I look like a human being, got everything else, but I've never had a kiss before. And he's kissing her. She's not doing anything. And then it turns out she's a robot that the guy had created. Because he lived forever. He wanted somebody because he said, "I've loved and lost 1,000 times because I've been alive forever. I'm Socrates. I'm Plato. I'm."
Is that all when there were loads of robots?
No, it's just him. He was the only one.
Okay,
He's dressed like.
I do
Caesar
remember.
a little
I do
bit.
remember this episode now. Yeah, that's not the Squire
Brain
of
and
Gothos.
brain. What is brain?
Oh God, not the fucking no! Don't say Spock's brain. Don't invoke it.
But he kisses her and like she's not into it. Then he finds out she's a robot. I knew what was going to happen straight away because this guy loved her. She had to choose between this bloke that made her and Kirk that he kissed her once and then it was
doesn't she malfunction to death or something?
She kills herself or so because she can't handle the choice. But he then goes
He's like
into
Austin Powers and the sex bots. Yeah, he just out-sexes them and they all blow up.
But he starts making out like she loves me. I'm thinking, you kissed her once. She didn't want you to kiss her. What's this great love? What are you talking great love?
Kirk falls hard.
Yeah, then at the end of it, like and it's all over. She killed herself, and Spock says something about human love, and it's a painful. And the Scottish guy gets annoyed at him. You don't understand, you green-blooded monster. But then Scotty walks out, and Kirk's there, like with his hands on his head, like he's depressed, like she died. I think you've known her for less than a day. And then Spock goes up and puts his after saying about love and the human condition, and all that, like he doesn't believe in it or he's not a fan of it. Scotty
Does he mind rape?
Yeah, he goes up and sort of puts his hand and he says, "Forget." Like he wants him to forget the pain of knowing somebody for 3 hours and one kiss. And
it's a little strong. It's a little bit like.
Yeah,
I wish I could do that.
For the pain in your side, though, not for the.
Well, just
can I do it for
Well,
kidney on the side? Yeah.
We could just delete bits. You're like, nah, fuck that bit. No, get rid of that. No, yep.
No, because you sort of need everything to make you, don't you? If you just take anything away, it's like what they thought about when we can start making perfect human beings. You're gonna look. You need that mongrel gene in there to keep you going. That's what keeps us alive. The down and the good. If you made everything perfect, you then
Mutation.
become.
It is a secret of evolution.
There was a thing about people that when they go to the Olympic stadiums, like to do the Olympics, they're almost what do you call them? The athletes said they're almost in quarantine because they're the peak of trainings and the training and the loss of weight and all that they can get sick very easily. Like they're so highly trained, they can get sick, so they have to be kept away from everybody. So that gene of perfection doesn't last.
I think that's the official line. From what I gather, what they actually do is once they're in the Olympic Village, they will just
start shagging.
Yeah, they all just bone like crazy because they're all beautiful,
testosterone fueled up men and women.
They're all pent up. They've been having to deny themselves all these other things, like alcohol and whatnot. They're all locked in with all these other beautiful people, perfect physical specimens, and they all just bone all the time. Like one,
right, time to go to the Olympics, boys. Time to start
they said
training.
there's just like a massive line for.
It's like Comic-Con. Everyone's just shagging, basically.
Really though, really.
Do they have a comic?
Everyone's shagging nasty,
do they have a comics?
Weird goth people.
Oh, they're all telling they're all like the virgins. They're all telling each other they're all shagging. So.
But I'm sure we would have heard the outrage. But just to double check, have you watched Code of Honor yet?
No.
Code of Honor yet? The Star Trek episode, the infamous.
It rings a bell. The name. What is it?
It's the one Charles and I've been trying to get you to watch.
No, I did look it up. I couldn't find it.
It must be on Netflix. Is Trek on Netflix? I don't know.
Yeah, TNG is. Yeah.
What? Not the first series.
No,
it's Star Trek: The Next Generation. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was one of the series of the TOS because like 50 series on there. I was waiting to get to it.
No, it's Star Trek: Next Generation.
So
oh my god.
In it?
No.
Well, I'm not watching it then. Is the only one?
No, you need to watch it just to be open-mouthed, shocked.
It's
a wild experience.
I watch these Star Trek things, and I feel like I'm rolling the dice. I'm either going to laugh my ass off, or I'm going to get so fucking pissed off. And you can never tell because it mixes up. You never know.
Yeah,
I think I messaged you. Like the tone varies wildly, even in an episode. And sometimes it's kind of like you're like, oh, this is interesting and fairly progressive and tolerant and stuff. And then all of a sudden it goes, whoa.
Well, the one I started watching one last night. I thought I'd try and watch another. It was too late. But it was like, oh, okay, the hippies movement must have started in America because all these people come from a planet. They're all, hey, yeah, man.
And they're calling
each other flowers.
Yeah, calling each other Herbert.
I thought, oh, did the hippie movement start? Am I guessing?
Yeah, but Spock is down with them because he knows.
What is wrong with these people? Why don't they want technology?
He does that, doesn't he? He does.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Oh, you're one of us, man.
Hey, man, you dig?
Oh God!
They start calling people Herbert if they're not
there's
cool.
No offense. I'm just going. What is happening? Why is this so stupid?
Have you seen the episode in its entirety?
No, I turned off after about 5 minutes.
It's got quite a satisfying ending. I don't know what you think, Charles, but I really
it's just
like
going watching you can look through the history of American, the time view of American history just by watching the Star Trek episode. Okay, there's the racism thing. Here's the stuff about politics. Here's the hippie movement.
Have you watched Balance of Terror? It's the one where they find the Romulans.
No, I haven't heard
That's a really good episode.
Yeah.
That's a legit, really good.
There are some genuinely good episodes in there.
Yeah, and then like I said, they'll do something, but then they'll say some stuff, and you go, yeah, that's fucking right, man. That's like, but then then the next one, you've got a pink sky again, and somebody's falling.
Have you seen? It's called. I think it's called "Let That Be Your Last Battlefield." It's one where it's got two people. One is black on one side of his body and white on the other.
Yeah,
and then
ridiculous.
Flipped.
Yeah.
Yeah, but isn't that the bleakest ending though? Did you watch it all the way through?
Yeah, so one guy's chasing the other guy, and one's got
but they've beamed her.
They're in spandex.
But their planet's on fire, everyone's extinct, and then they're still beamed down to the planet to fight. Yeah.
Yeah, like, we're going to carry on fighting. You go, oh, I don't know
but that's so bleak. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's so unusual for Trek. There's no hopeful message. It's just like, they just want to kill each other.
But I just couldn't get over the fact of, I didn't even notice one had black on one side and one. So I'm thinking, what are they talking about? And then I thought, but how could that evolve? That you've perfectly got black on one side?
It's a cheap and quite ladled on thick message,
so
but it is quite a clever thing that you don't notice that they're different on each side. And for us, and again, but it's even though it's a simple message, it's quite interesting that's because we go, well, that's ridiculous. Why should it matter if he's black on one side and white on the other? So for people listening, we're talking about something that I don't know how clear this is. There's two aliens, basically. One is black on his left side, white on his right, and then the other alien is white on his left side, black on his right, and they're involved in a xenophobic war. So, yeah, that's obviously ladled on thick, but it's quite a simple thing because it's almost them going, you going, well, that's stupid. Of course, why should that matter? Aha! Because of this, bearing in mind,
because it's an arbitrary distinction.
Because bearing in mind,
why don't we discriminate against people who are too tall or people with different eye color, or why is it skin? You know,
I got that, but I couldn't get over the fact of how did this evolve? How did that?
Yeah,
evolve?
I
know but then you're asking like they've got a spaceship that travels faster than light, and they've got everyone speaks English. If you pick the whole, because I think it was particularly Trek was the original series of Trek, and even Trek in general, I would say, has always had an allegorical message behind, like Star Wars isn't frankly that deep as much as people trying to impose a depth to it. There's no this is what society is like. The first Star Wars film is a young squire, a wizard, a cowboy, a bear go to rescue a princess from the Black Knight.
It's a fantasy film with some allusions to Nazism and World War II. That's about it. That was some trappings of that.
Yeah, but that's there's no depth.
But you Charles ruined a lot of it for me because what had happened?
Charles.
No, not the show. Because what happened is they had the one about Hitler or the Germans, and I thought, okay, that's just stupid. But I'm just focusing on how stupid it is. And then there was one about cowboys. They went back. They create an illusion of what they must have been to cowboys because they looked into your head and they said, right, we're going to sentence you to death, but we're going to use what's in your head to sort of and they went back to the OK Corral and they was like Billy the Kid was there and all that. But it was because you told me that they were trying to use up all the uniforms and sets. So now when it comes up, I go, oh, they're just trying to get rid of that. I mean, they went to do the 1960s one where the Al Capone and all that. I thought, what, did they just make an Al Capone movie recently? And now
Probably.
let's lose all the
It was
suits up
TV
and all
show,
the gun.
yeah.
So now every time one pops up, I think, oh, you cheap bastards. There we go. Well, here's what the Olympians, and here's a set from fucking. Oh, they've used the mountains again in California as a set
they
piece.
use the backlot. They use that backlot a few times. Like when they go back in time and they're like they go, oh, we happen to be in 1940s America. You know what I mean? That backlot. There's like 2 streets that appear a few times. It's like in Next Generation. They always have that village set. They have this. They always cut, and there's like Alien Village set, and it's basically the same thing as a fountain in the middle. And once you realise that, like they rearrange
with rocks
things
around
slightly.
it, isn't it?
Yeah.
The drinks. I noticed the drinks in the planet have a different cup. There's always like they drink blue out of this one, and here's a little thimble that they drink green out of on that planet. And the food is always a tray of sort of foam coloured blocks, like green, pink, yellow. It's just like, just try. Have a go at doing it a bit. Come on.
See, at least in Next Generation, they have the replicator, so they have real food, but it's just a machine that goes pew and makes the food. You know, so if you want a coffee, you can have a proper coffee, not the weird. Because in the original Star Trek, they always eat like cubes, don't they?
Yeah,
like, is everyone just eating
cubes.
Turkish delight? What's going on here?
But it just looks so foamy.
Like the scientists just went, turns out Turkish Delight, Kerem will love this, turns out Turkish Delight has all the food groups and nutrients you need.
There was one.
That's all you need. Yeah.
I just noticed where the Russian guy who walks across, he goes to go somewhere, and you hear him run, and you can just hear the plywood across the stage sort of echo as he runs across.
See the whole thing, the set wobbling.
It just hears dug, 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 dug. He runs across it. Right, hang on. So we got off of Trump and UFO. Well, we sort of ended up back at UFOs, like future UFOs.
But happier UFOs, yeah.
Yeah, more colourful. Anything else? Got anything else to say? Anything else exciting happening? You're dealing with the being inside. What's happening? Is there any talk about when we're getting out? Is there a release date?
The current lockdown comes up for
Review.
Whatever for will run out basically on Thursday.
Oh, right,
in this
week.
country. So they
then
will
another decision has to be made. Is that
Yeah.
Okay.
It comes up for review is what I was trying to say. So it comes up for review on Thursday. So you'll probably start hearing some stuff this week,
Thursday.
next week. Sorry.
There was something.
What's going on?
There was something about saying Boris Johnson. So we're recording now on the 3rd of May. Boris Johnson was saying that he wants the UK back to work on the 26th of May.
Oh, okay.
What fully? It's not going to do the fully open thing. It's going to be dragged out. Over
I
like
think
a couple of
I
months.
think it'll be a lot of things. So, for example, it'll be if you can still work from home, i.e., if you work in a normal office environment,
Can't have ambiguity. Everyone's just
I know,
go back to work.
yeah, exactly. But there'll be some
26th. Yeah, that's about 3 weeks. So they might do another 3 weeks then. Odd,
because I think it'll be things like, for example, pubs and clubs and bars and whatnot won't be able to open.
Socialising places. Yeah,
restaurants probably can, but they have to strictly be a restaurant, not a pub that serves food. And it'll be if you sit every other table. It'll be something like that.
Yeah.
It'll be things like that. I think pubs and bars won't be open till
The thing is, we don't really know any more than we did like 3 weeks ago. We haven't got the testing in place. We haven't solved anything.
I think the testing has ramped up, and I think they are working on trials for vaccines, and there's something to do with taking the plasma from people who've had it and either have
but that's so
survived or
small
not.
in terms of nothing has changed.
It also sounds like the beginnings of the horror film. This is how the virus mutates, and it's 28 days later.
Yeah, if there's any chimps in, forget it. Well, I think that definitely podcasters should be allowed to carry on work.
Oh, definitely. That's essential work. Yeah, definitely.
Essential work. Yeah. Right. Well, that's it. I'm done. I've cycled out all my UFO and gambling and whatnot. So that's it. Unless you've got anything else to say. All done. All right.
No. I've got a couple of things to say for next week.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
what's going to happen next week? Have you got a new job coming up?
Nah, no, nothing interesting.
Are you doing any writing work?
I have been working on a few things myself. Yeah, working on film script.
As a fan of comic
couple
books,
of shorts.
have you ever thought of? Do you draw your own or write your own or anything?
I have thought about it, yeah, and I have even kind of done a few rough drafts.
What's your character, if you can say?
Well, just a few stories and stuff, a few silly things. I've been working on sort of I suppose it's a kid's book as well, as well as a few things.
Is it for Trump?
No, not the Krasenstein brothers. No, they released a weird anti-Trump book.
Have you? If you've got a villain, Charles, who might you base the look on? Your villain. Any sort of bald-headed
Well, they might as well.
individuals?
We're a chastised race. Well, not a race, but you know what I mean. It's the go-to sort of villainy.
This is the episode of Star Trek. They beam down to the planet and everyone's bald.
Yeah. Everyone's... What were the early? You know, you had like Superman in the 50s and all that. Was there any other superheroes around?
Yeah, you had Batman.
No, but I mean in films.
There was tons. Films.
Because you're limited by special effects, really. At least Superman. I'm on you. How'd you do Superman?
I think the first superhero thing on TV or film reels or whatever, shorts, was Shazam.
What's that?
Yeah, Shazam, because that predates. Does that predate Superman?
Or that comedy?
I think
film?
a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's because Superman. Actually, I think Superman came out afterwards, and they successfully sued Shazam, didn't they? Even though it was
which is a weird thing. Yeah,
so
they're better
Superman.
lawyers.
Then you had Batman with Adam West. Was there anything?
No, there were old serials before that. You had the Captain America black and white serials as well.
Yeah.
If you try and look up the old Batman films, as it were, and he's got these. It's hard to do it in this cam, but he's just got these horrid floppy ears, like his bat ears. They're really long and they just flop to the side.
That's it. That was their costume.
The costumes are awful. I mean, the Superman ones aren't. The costume doesn't look too bad, but it's interesting how the Fleischer cartoons where he's beating up Japanese soldiers and the Nazis
and Godzilla
and Godzilla obviously. Yeah. But in those. Because in the comics originally Superman only didn't fly, he jumped over buildings with a single bound.
Leapt over buildings with a single bound.
Yeah. But the cartoonists, I think it was them first, and then it was the serials. They went, yeah, that looks fucking stupid. Can he fly? Like, I know it makes sense. Yeah. It looks good in the comic as a still image, but it looks so stupid. It looks so goofy and stupid. Can we have him flying? And they were like, yeah, sure. So it's the TV show and the cartoon.
Yeah, you could have that shot of him on wire, just doing that.
Yeah, they said. Yeah,
but how did you do the jumping on film?
Well, that's why they didn't do it. I guess probably I haven't seen it, but he probably just went jumped up in the air, and then they cut to the other side of the building and had him jump back down. land, do some type sound effect. Yeah, but yeah, so that's where it came from. It was the weird reverse engineering that they went,
But they do feed into each other, because if there's ever an actor playing a character, then that character in the comics sort of slowly morphs into that character. Like Iron Man looks like Robert Downey Jr. now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Nick Fury is Samuel Jackson now. So
because didn't
change
they
colour? Yeah,
didn't they? Because I can't remember which way around it was. Wasn't it that was it the film that had cast Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury, and so they went, okay, we'll make Nick Fury look like Samuel L. Jackson, or was it the other way around? I can't remember.
He was in the old...
bloody Theo's flying here again.
Theo's fighting off a lie.
He was in the Ultimate. He was Nick Fury was basically Samuel L. Jackson in the Ultimate world. So when the Ultimate Universe got folded into the main Marvel continuity, then... they just kept Samuel Jackson, Nick Fury, because he was more interesting character than.
So what he was white originally.
Yeah.
So he was white character originally, and they just changed him to black.
Yeah. Well, in the parallel universe, in the separate parallel universe, he was Samuel Jackson, but he was a better character. So
maybe that's his superpower. He changes colour, depending on political climes.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Right, hang on. So that's me done then. I've got nothing else. So you happy with that? Everything?
Yeah. They'll put the world's right.
in.
Yeah, we've covered your adventures at A&E, cybercrimes and gambling and fraud, the bird apocalypse, aliens, how the world is run, mostly through greed, and Star Trek.
Always Star Trek. Always finish with Star Trek.
Yeah. Trump and Star Trek.
Yeah.
Trek and Trump.
Trek and Trump Trek.
And you've learnt the vagal nerve is because it's a big nerve that runs right through your body. You had that little bit of medical advice there.
Oh, and Therese Humbert. That's who we talked about, wasn't it? The world's most obvious con woman. I've got this note in my safe. Yeah, you can definitely trust that. Yeah, exactly.
I might try that. Go to the bank tomorrow. But it fucking worked for her. All right. Well, listen, we'll end it there. So we'll see you next week then, depending on what's happening. Kim Jong-un, what's happening with him?
He's been seen in public.
Apparently he's been seen, yeah, but we don't know.
We have a sighting. They've got him in a... Oh, okay, so Kim Jong-un being seen is bollocks. An alien flying blurry.
I don't believe he exists.
Blurry dot on a cockpit monitor.
Yeah, Andrew, to be fair, it was a blurry image, so I don't believe it, and I just want to see his bones out of the ground.
Show me the body.
Yeah. Well, literally, yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Right.
All right, then we'll see each other. Don't hang up because we need to. But that's us done. So
you don't need to tell us.
Cool. Bye, everyone. Take care. Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye.
Boy.